sing. So both. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Alhamdulillah, shukrillah that we are here together on this beautiful Friday, a special Friday, the last Friday of this blessed month of Rajab. Alhamdulillah, shukrillah, alhamdulillah, shukrillah. Our team is Lita'arafu, and the name comes from this beautiful ayah in the Quran, where we are asked, encouraged to learn from one another how to live mindfully of our true life purpose. We need to keep reminding ourselves of that because otherwise we all get easily distracted. So the ayah in the Quran in Surah Al-Hujurat is the ayah that says, "O people, behold, we have created you all of a male and a female, have made you into many nations and tribes, so that you might come to know and learn from one another." What is it that we need to know and learn from one another? That verily the noblest, most honor of you in the sight of God is the one who is most conscious, mindful of God, mindful of our true life purpose, mindful of who we are, mindful. Verily, God is the one who's all-knowing and all-aware. So at the end, we cannot boast about this. God is the one who actually is the one who gives us this mindfulness and who will tell us when we meet him if we were actually fully mindful. So on this quest, we have started discussing for the past 2 years the names of God as a way to be mindful of who we are, who our Rabb is, and what is our true purpose in life. And the ayah that we were using for our guideline was وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءِ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. And to God belongs all the beautiful names of perfection, all the attributes of perfection. So know him with these names, know his attributes, and call upon him with them. So it's like it has two parts. One is to know God with these names, which is to know who he is. And the other part, right? Other part, like, sort of the connecting seeds, is to call upon him with them. So the connection, like knowing and calling, is what we're here for, to figure out, to know, and to live this connection. So our source is our gift, our eternal, ever-giving gift, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Quran al-Kareem. And our teachers, our beloved teacher who has practiced Quran, lived the Quran, embodied the change, the transformation that happens when anyone lives the Quran, embodied how does it look like to be someone totally in adoration of the Rabb, embodied someone who knows the Rabb very closely and is helping everyone around them to know that, embodied how all of that practice and knowledge becomes mercy, not to him, not to his followers, but to humankind. And everyone that followed in the path of our beloved Prophet is our teacher. We derive a lot of what we share here from the original work of a contemporary scholar, Badi' al-Zaman, Said al-Nursi, and from his two students that are our teachers that God sent them to us, Dr. Yamina Buginaya, Dr. Ali Mermer, and then we also consider each of ourselves a student and each of ourselves a potential teacher. So we're learning a lot from each other. Each of us, as we started, has a gift that we only realize when we discuss. And then, subhanAllah, that is not all, but Allah sent us this ongoing, ever-living book of the universe that is our ongoing teacher. Alhamdulillah. So a reminder, 36 days to go. Like, we're last Friday of Rajab, Sha'ban is coming up, and Ramadan, inshallah. So let's all be ready. This is the time to be ready. This is what we're doing here, making ourselves ready. We're ready to clear ourselves from any false perceptions. This is the time to clear that with istighfar. Am I the doer? If I realize that I'm not the doer, then when I find myself claiming that I should be in control, I should be, I need to be, I should be, this needs to be, when I start hearing should and needs, and that's my time to make istighfar and remember who is the doer. What else? Reorient ourselves. If I'm not the doer, is there a doer? Then reorient myself to seek the doer, to seek the source, that original, absolute, infinite source. And this is why we love Inaba, because her name reminds us of Inaba, like to reorient, to go back. And when we're in that state, which has been the theme with Sarah and Fawzia, we just need to soak ourselves totally in infinite absolute mercy. Just feel this love, this rahmah, like soaking in everything around us, and actually actively engaging in activities that make us feel that way, so that we can be in this total state of hamd, alhamdulillah. Basically our homework. We have started, there's so many existential questions, but we started with why am I here, which basically means what is the purpose of my creation? And this is our focus, so that when Ramadan comes, we are on the right foot. And the questions that we always find ourselves asking is, can there be no meaning for my creation? Is that even possible? Can there be no meaning for all the creation around me? And if there's no meaning, why do I find inside me a need for meaning? I don't like doing anything that's meaningless. I want to know why. I mean, this is how I'm created. So if there was no meaning for this beautiful, do you hear the bird? That beautiful sound, what does it mean? Is it just there? Like, if there's no meaning, why do I feel the need to know what is she saying? Why is the voice made so beautiful? Why am I enjoying it? You can even enjoy it, and you're not in front of the door seeing the bird. So it's not only the birds. We see perfection in creation, in the details, the beautiful, amazing details of what we see. What does it mean? Why are they made beautiful and perfect? Why are we made to love looking at them? Why are we made to be in awe? When we even look at our creation, one cell, like, 2 cells. How can a human being start from 2 cells? How can these sperms and these eggs make a human being? Like, what does it mean? Before, people didn't even see this. What does it mean? Now that we know that the closer we look, the more miracles we see, the more in awe we are. What is the meaning? Then we see this little being, these 2 cells. Could these cells, could they make this being? Could they make me, with my need for meaning, with my feeling of awe of these birds chirping, with me wanting to go out and just stare at them? Like, what does it mean? And the further I look, then I see more perfection to the atomic level, to the subatomic level. Like, what does it mean? And then I find myself asking this question, who's behind this? Like, the more I look, the more amazing it gets. The more beauty I see, the more perfection that I see, the more order I see, the more conscious will I see. What does it mean? What does it mean that the world, the universe, has an ongoing creation that starts and ends and repeats and changes? And what does it mean that clouds move in the sky? What does it mean that birds combine? What does all of that mean? And what does it mean that there are galaxies that we now know of that are out there, that have been there for like hundreds and thousands and billions of years, but we still see them? And what does it mean that I am given this life that I experience with every breath in. And what does it mean that after every breath in, I breathe out? Why is this perfect creation here? So this question, we will hand over to our beautiful sister Maryam, who will help us answer this question through the process that the Prophet ﷺ taught us, through the process that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us, the process of pausing and reflecting, pausing and feeling, pausing and asking these questions, and then waiting in silence and hearing the answers that are already given to your soul become clearer and louder to your ears. Bismillah. Maryam. Ready to receive meaning? Ready for mindful breathing? Time with you.
Everyone. Thank you, Alia. And thank you for joining us today. So I invite you to slow down and join me in a few minutes guided mindful meditation. So first, find a comfortable place for yourself, or wherever you're sitting, make yourself comfortable. Feet on the ground. Place your hands on your laps. Let your shoulders down. And close your eyes whenever you're ready. Now bring all your attention to your breathing. Let's take a slow, deep breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep breathing slowly. As you are breathing, try to look at your body from outside. Be an observer and see how easily breathing is done upon you. Notice how air is being blown through your nose into your body, here and now. Observe how life is sent to you through each breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Who is the sender of this breath? Who is the sender of life? The perfect content of my breath, the perfect amount of each breath, the perfect ease of my breath is a reminder. A reminder that I'm being taken care of in the best possible way by the one who knows all my needs, the one who has absolute power over everything, the one who creates my breath for me and for you here and now. This one who knows, this one who has absolute power And this one who creates my breath must be the one who gives life to me and to you here and now. Let's breathe in and breathe out and feel the abundance of each breath. I am so grateful for the gift of my breath. I am so grateful for the easiness of my breath. I am grateful for the abundance of my breath. I am grateful for the trust that I find in me, and this trust makes me not worry about my next breath. As we are getting our next breath, I am ready to know the one is the giver of my breath. You are the one who knows my needs and takes care of them here and now. I witness you are my sustainer. You are my provider. With every breath, you give me life. I witness you're the life giver. With each breath, you give me health. I witness you're the healer who heals my body through this breath. I experience the abundance of each and every breath. I witness you're the generous. I experience the ease of breathing. I witness the one who brings ease in everything. I am grateful that you are the doer, who knows all, who has absolute power over everything, and who creates here and now. And I am the one who is done upon, because I don't know, I don't have power over anything, yet I am receiving your perfect gift of creation, my breath, here and now. Thank you, everyone.
MashaAllah, Maryam, as usual.
Alhamdulillah.
Very relaxing, alhamdulillah. So our homework now is to just go first to write in a word in the chat box about how do you feel.
Alia is reminded that she doesn't know. She reminded the one who knows is pampering her. How do you read it? I'm reminded the who knows is pampering me. Naima is comforted. Samina is here. It's all being taken care of. Alhamdulillah. We don't have to do it. We don't have to worry. Just observe and enjoy. Inaba says, wow, there's a very special opportunity right in between expiration and inhalation to experience trust, especially for someone like me who is not well acquainted with the feeling of trust. Sahara says, I'm not the doer at all. Hitam feels sustained. Alhamdulillah. Okay, these are all the ones in the chat box.
Salwa, we need to hear from you. Who didn't we hear from? Asma, Salwa, Ijlal. So what is different? Yeah, what is different that we're trying to make this our time of practicing. So Mariam, as Salwa and Ijlal and Asma are putting their thoughts, did you want to read these two beautiful slides that we
prepared? Perfect is the one who makes everything work together to bring me this breath here and now. I definitely have no way to make any of this happen on my own, because I have no power on my own over anything. Everything is given to me just like my breath, and everything is taken back from me just like my breath. It calls me to focus on the giver and to remember that the who is giving me right now, right here and now, is the who I am returning right to here and now. Can you read the Arabic of the
So subhanallah, this verse that we have in Arabic, we always use it before we travel. So a lot of you will be familiar. It's subhanalladhi sakhara lana hadha wa ma kunna lahu muqrinin wa inna ila rabbina lamunqalibun. Subhanallah, this verse for years and years and years, we've been reciting it before travel and thinking of what we travel in as something that God has made available to us, made, subserved it to us, subserved the earth that we travel on, subserved the metal that, that our traveling, cars are made out of, subserved the animals that people before us travel upon, and we had no way to either make the earth flat or surround us in safety or make the metals of the car usable or make the animals that we travel on, allow us to sit, domesticated to allow us to sit on their backs. And then the question for me always was, how do we go from there, from perfect is thee who has subserved all of this to us, to inna ila rabbina lamunqalibun. And this is a reminder that we are returning to our God here and now. Until Mariam, for the past 2 years, has been working with breath, it only dawned a few weeks ago that everything that God gives us is given and taken, given and taken, given and taken. As a reminder for us that whoever is giving it to us, that's the source. He's giving it to us to know him, to use it, to connect to him through it, but it's coming right back to him. And what better thing to focus on that is given and taken back? To trust, like Inaba says, we all have a trust issue, Inaba, so that we can learn to trust that the source that is giving me, that's subserving heavens and earth, and like Mariam was saying, calculating every item that needs to be breathed in, calculating every tissue in my body and every cell to receive this breath, calculating the tension of the walls of the alveoli of my lungs to keep them open with a certain lining mucousy thing called surfactant to keep them open for the air to come in, calculating every blood vessel and the dimension of the wall and how oxygen will come through and carbon dioxide, calculating things that even now with all what we know, we don't know. And bringing it in and taking it back, and bringing it in and taking it back, so that we can learn to trust. Like we trust that the next breath is coming in, to trust. And now the question is, where did that last breath go? That last breath went back. That last breath and everything in it went back to safety, went back to a full record that takes account of everything, takes account of, did we notice it? Did we use it to connect? Did we see the perfection in it? Did we look at how beautiful this dua is? The beginning is, did we see perfection? Subhan alladhi sakhar lana hadha. That is perfection. Did we see the perfection in whatever it is? The travel, the prayer, the bird that was singing, the skies, the atoms. Did we see perfection? Now look at the middle of the dua. Ma kunna lahu muqrinin. Did we sit down with the fact that I am not the doer? I have no power over anything. Did we sit with that second part? And then did these two, the perfection that we see, this is like the formula, the perfection that we see and our inability to even comprehend it or to get any of it to work for us, while it works perfectly for me, is the reminder for the third part, the completion of this circle, which is there is a source that is giving and making this perfection, and I'm the receiving end of that source. And if there's a source that is perfect and I'm at the receiving end, it's at the giving end, this source is where I'm going back to. Like once this dua dawned upon us this way, we start to think, well, this dua is a summary of what is the meaning of being abd. So do we have more people in the chats, Mariam, that are sharing?
I have Asma, who said she loves the reminder that I'm being loved and I'm taken care of. And I'm sorry my toddler wakes up at this time. I understand that.
That's why typing is a good thing.
And Salwa is grateful. It helped me to slow down and
not multitask.
Not multitask and not multitask.
Okay, so we thank you both for that. Again, we're just trying to give time to ourselves and to everyone joining us to engage and absorb. And Bismillah. So Mariam has took us to the journey of seeing and how to connect and see the doing of our Rabb in my every breath, which is a practice that is done by all cultures, you know, to slow down, to pause, and definitely the Islamic culture, and definitely the teaching of the Quran. So that brings us back to the question that we have been pursuing: what is the purpose of my life? And in the past 3 Litarafu sessions, we went over who I am. And the question that we were asking exactly is, am I the doer? Am I done onto? And who was the doer? So these were the questions that we were contemplating upon in the last 3 sessions. And this summary slide is the summary of our discussions. There is a doer, and I am the one done upon. And if I want to find meaning, then I need to look at every situation as the receiver, as a mindful receiver, as an observant, mindful receiver, where my needs help me find meaning. My need for order makes me appreciate order. My need for safety makes me appreciate safety. My need for beauty makes me appreciate beauty. It's like, you know, the chargers in our household, we have two different phone systems, iPhones and Androids. And when my kids come, the most commonly missing thing is the charger. So my husband, he has one, you know, Android, so his charger is always in place. It's the iPhones that, and I know always where his charger is, but it does not help my phone. I need to have a charger for my phone that fits it. The need that we find in us and the perfection of what we receive is that click, is made that way to be our key for meaning, to be our key to understand that whoever put this need and made a perfect match for my need, a perfect match for my need, is honoring me. Whoever made this need in me and made a perfect match for my need wants me to know that this being, this eternal absolute being that has been matching needs for people before me and after me, that is matching needs for people all over the universe, that is matching needs for creation that I don't understand, is absolute and eternal, and wants me to know that about this absolute being that we call God. So I don't know if Sarah is on the call, but Sarah today shared this beautiful, beautiful song that I will share here, because that song is a song that helps us sink in, like take in this, like this concept about being clear about who we are. So the words are, let's get clear who we are, a pampered Khalifa, like someone who's pampered, receiving infinite love, receiving infinite care. The universe is my home, the sky a canopy above me, the earth a meadow below, all creation my siblings, and all creation my blessings. So let's hear it in Sarah's voice.
Let's get clear who we are. Let's get clear, let's get clear, let's get clear who we are. The sky's a canopy above me. The sun is made to warm me, and the soft breeze is a touch, a soft kiss of embrace.
We have 15 minutes to 11.
Thank you for the time.
Above me, the ground it holds me. The soft breeze is a kiss of affection upon me. The clouds, gentle shade, a gentle love, and the sun, it warms. And the sun is made to warm me. The galaxies above me, they turn and dance with me. The cells inside my body, they turn and dance with me. The sun and the moon and the stars and the people around me, so come and believe me. It's dancing to the divine. So let's get clear, let's get clear, let's get clear. Becomes a rock in the bowl by His Majesty and all the. Come on, baby.
So Sarah, she sent this in the morning, and I just thought, if we get clear about who we are, that we are always receiving, like this perfection, subhanalladhi sakhar lana hada, this perfection that has been made available to us, وَمَا كُنَّا لَهُ مُقْرِنِينَ, and we had no way to make it happen. We had no way to sit upright. We had no way to breathe this way. We had no way to create the beauty around us. We had no way to make our earth in perfect location. We had no way. And it's all given to us. We are the pampered, the loved, the showered with mercy ones. Always showered with love and mercy. Then the who is showering us, the being, the absolute infinite being that is showering us, was showering people before us, will keep doing it for me and you, everyone on this call, everyone in the universe, and creatures and worms under the earth, and creatures in the depth of the sea, creatures that we don't even know of yet, all showered with that same infinite, absolute love and care. So let's get clear. We are receiving all of this. And if we are clear, if we get clear about that, how does this knowledge benefit me? That was Sarah's question to me and Maryam as we were preparing yesterday. And we're so lucky when this question was asked, because as this question was asked, we were discussing this point that I'm going to share. But after that, we had Furqan, Maryam's son, come and answer this question for us. So before we share Furqan's answer, how does this knowledge benefit me? Being clear about who I am, how does it benefit me? We were going to just go back and remind ourselves of this key ayah in the Quran that everyone recites and everyone knows by heart. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. And I did not create the jinn and humankind except to worship me. So here we are meeting to speak about the purpose of creation, and the purpose of creation is given in this one ayah, straightforward. So what is worship? A lot of people think worship is the rituals, like is the Hajj, is the Salah prayer, is the fasting, is the Zakah, but rituals are here to confirm the worship. Like ritual is to hold the worship. So what is worship? So لِيَعْبُدُونَ could also mean in Arabic to know and to pave the way. So in Arabic, this word ibadah, paving the way through knowing, is through experiential knowledge. So worship, when you go to the Arabic roots, experiential knowledge. It's not informational knowledge. It's not a recital of something you don't experience. Ibadah is something that paves the way to a goal. يعبد الطريق, to make ibadah for the road is to pave the road. So you can use this road to get where you want to. So abd is someone who's actively paving the path to the Rabb, always working on it. Once you stop paving the path, you stopped. It is a continuous act. It is not a one-time. Even the word shahada, we went through that through earlier Lita'arafu sessions. The word shahada is not a one-time, I bear witness God is the only deity and Prophet Muhammad is his prophet and messenger. No, shahada in Arabic is an ongoing act of conscious witnessing. And ibadah is an ongoing act of experiential knowledge, not informational knowledge, that paves the path for true connection. So if God tells me I'm only here to make ibadah, then I'm only here to have an experiential knowledge that keeps me connected to my creator. So it's all C's: creator, creation, connected. That's what I'm here. Once I know who I am as a creation, there is a creator, and my role is to stay connected through paving the path, to always paving the path. I was asking Mariam, who was cooking at the time, what is the difference between information knowledge and experiential knowledge? And what did you tell me, Mariam, about the cooking? You were cooking this delicious meal.
So we had examples. We said you can read the recipe from the recipe book, or you can, watch the video, or you can just, while cooking, smell the food and feel the heat, and then taste the taste, use all your feelings, and then have the true, experience of, and how was the food, by the way?
Oh my goodness.
We were cooking yesterday.
So yesterday, Mariam sent me home with a delicious plate, Turkish plate.
That was experiential.
That was experiential. That, you know what? I couldn't eat it with the spoon. I had to warm bread and just take each piece in bread and taste it to savor it. I was like, I was like, what are you doing? Ahmed was looking at me, what are you doing? I was like, I am just enjoying the taste. It was totally delicious, Mariam. Totally delicious. So that's how I feel, the taste. And look at my face as I was speaking, I could feel I feel my smile. I feel like as I'm speaking, I could feel the taste again. As I was saying, I needed to, the spoon wasn't good enough for me. I needed to warm the bread and just to take it little by little, and savor the taste and the juices, that Mariam carefully marinated. And I can, whenever I think I'll tell this experience, Mariam, I'll be able to feel what I just feel now. Because we cooked together. We didn't cook together. She cooked, I observed, but I tasted here.
You can just apply that every step. I wasn't the doer. There is a doer, and I was guided to do it. With each and every step, I was guided. So, by the way, it was meat. Sorry, it's
5 minutes
to 11. It was meat with peas, and that was, it is something that is very easy for me to prepare. But if we apply the doer here, so I was guided to cut the meat in the right shape, so they are cooked together. And then I was guided, because we didn't have so much time. My son was coming from school and he's hungry when he comes. We want to do it faster. So this is also, I was made to make it faster. And so I used 2 pots for the peas, for the meat. So this is the guidance. There is a doer that at the time of doing, if we can see how our hands are moved to do it, how our thinking is also guided. So how do I know what to do next? How do I know which spices go best with this food? How do I know how much salt or spice or
olive oil
to add? Exactly. And then the heat. How do I know which pot is good for this? So it's all by trying, and doing, and then we get better. So this is how we put the effort, and Allah is guiding us with each step. If we can just pause and try to feel the existence of the Creator working with us at the time, then we can have the feeling of being connected to Him the whole time. And then the taste comes.
Then the taste comes. So in that experience, can you just sit back and just see your Rabb preparing things for you? Like you're sitting there, can you imagine yourself sitting in Mariam's beautiful kitchen, full of mashallah, like her heart, inshallah, and home? and just seeing her preparing this for you, doing it very elegantly, like, putting the oil through a very elegant oil container, looking at a pot that looks so elegant, like, cutting the meat in tiny, beautiful, like everything looks so elegant, so doing it in such a flow. You feel like just sitting, watching that, like so pampered, like I've been taken care of. I'm sitting and watching her prepare. Can I help you? No, you just sit. I was at the time like doing the slides. You just do the slides and we're talking. And she said, like, it's easier for me. I know what I'm doing, but I'm still sitting doing the slides, but enjoying the feeling that it's done for me. Like, this is done for me, and it's done with so much grace and beauty. Can I see everything like this? Can you imagine if that feeling of love for Mariam, that feeling of appreciation, that feeling, I need, like, it's made to take it right to the source, to be like, Ya Allah, you took care of me. You sent me to Mariam's house so that you employ her to take care of me. This was made all to show me your love. She had an open heart and an open house that allowed that to come through her, because she could have said, you know what, I'm very busy, because she has her own business at home, and she was trying to finish the orders that she has as a business. And there's no need to cook right now. Like, her son can pick up something from the fridge and I'm going to work and go back home. So there's no need. But she was inspired to cook something special to share with me. So, like, Ya Allah, thank you for inspiring. Can you imagine how much this, or like, there's no mundane, but this ordinary, mundane, like, event of she's preparing food for her son who came back from school and she's going to send me home with some food, becomes into like, and I'm going to go back the slide. Go back. Let's get clear. I'm pampered. Let's get clear. This visit to Mariam was to remind me that I am pampered, that I am receiving infinite love through Mariam, that I'm receiving infinite care through her, that I am, like, this universe and her home became my home when I set foot in there. The sky is the canopy, the earth is the meadow, the food that was sent, the love that was sent. She is my sibling and Furqan is my son, and everything is a blessing. That is the reminder. It's 11 o'clock. So we will consider the rest part of the sharing, because it was actually the sharing of Furqan. But before we share with Furqan again, there was a beautiful discussion with Sarah, where we were thinking about the word abd, and like, as we were writing the letters of the word abd in Arabic, you can see the ain, it looks like a cup looking to the right, and the bih looks like a cup, a sea, or a cup looking above, and in the del, it looks like a cup looking to the left. Like, each of them looks like a cup that's receiving love, basically. So this conscious ubudiyya, like, we thought to remind ourselves, like, about how to remember what abd is. Like, it has 3 C's, like, so one C is to be clear of who I am as abd, and that was the song that was inspired to Sarah. Be clear about who you are. Once you're clear, you're a pampered Khalifa. Like, be clear. Me being able to sit and speak to you, I have no way to make my spine be this way. My skin that's protecting me, I have no way to protect me with my skin. My eyes that see, I have eyeballs that are metal, but the vision, I have no ways to make this vision happen. Like, everything, I am a pampered. So the first C is being clear. Just keep reminding ourselves to be clear about who we are. I'm a pampered being. I'm a pampered receiver. I'm a pampered abd. And the second, or maybe I can think of it as the third C, like there's 2 C's and then we'll connect them. So that third C is that I have a creator, a Rabb, that I need to be always connected to. So that creator, like, be clear about me as abd. I have a creator as a Rabb. And the goal is to be always connected. That's ubudiyya, which brings the binding bih that pulls these 2 C's together with, I have to keep repeating the process of reminding myself who I am as a receiving, a pampered receiving abd? Who is this all-knowing, infinite, absolute source who is my creator, my Rabb, until I get to that point of trust in Abba that I and a lot of us have issues with. Trust in what will happen about this, what will happen about what if, like, you know, this, like all these torturing questions that don't leave us. Only when we are working and working, then that confidence. Sarah was asking in a discussion, how do you become confident? And as a professor, I said, you know, confidence is practice. You practice like your presentation until you're confident presenting it. Yes, that's it, basically. Keep practicing, keep remembering who you are until you're confident. Keep remembering who your creator is until you're confident. Keep watching him in every second, showering you and you receiving abundantly until you're confident. Okay, so now we'll consider like this indulging this sort of lecture part done. And this was the question part, and we have someone who participated who is not with us. So the question is, how do we gain, you know, experience? We already said to seek it and indulge in it. And what is the benefit? So we asked Furqan, who's 16 years old, Furqan, what is the benefit of you knowing that you know, you are abd, that there is a Rabb? Like, how do you seek it and, you know, indulge in it? And what is the benefit? So do you want to read his examples, Mariam? So he said the goal of going to the gym. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to the gym, and the goal of going to the gym, the Joe example is just a regular person. It says physical strength and health. And Furqan said seeking meaningful connection beyond physical strength and health.
And that was coming from a 16-year-old. That was like really amazing. So the follow-up questions, like, how does that help you? And what was his answer?
He said, I try to make this effort for mindfulness from time to time.
He was very honest. Like, he's like, don't, you know, I'm not doing this all the time. I'm 16. Like, I try to do it from time to time.
Not always, yeah. Some days I feel strong, and sometimes I don't, but I still keep at it. And it reminds me that the strength is given and not earned. Yet I have to keep putting as much effort as I can into it, even if I don't see immediate results. I trust I will see these results over time. So he has been exercising for almost since September, and he lost a lot of weight, and now we can feel his muscles. So this is what he meant. You don't see immediate results, but keep doing it. So similarly, it gives me motivation to keep doing my part, seeking closeness to my Rabb, even on the days when I'm not really feeling it.
I was amazed at his answer, that he, like, you know, off his sleeve, like they say, just like, you know, 16-year-old, he would say, yes, when I think about it, you know, going to the gym, even when, like, you know, I don't see results, I keep at it, I see results at the end. So even when I don't feel connected when I'm praying, I trust that it makes me like this experience with my physical body is God's promise that if I do the same with my spiritual being, I will see results. So most of the days, or a lot of the days, when I just pray and don't feel anything, I keep at it, trusting that it will come. And I just thought, what a beautiful example. That was his first example. Look at his second example. So this example, he was speaking about observing the clouds. And what was Joe gonna say, Mariam?
Joe says, you know, looking at the clouds, enjoying, or sometimes complaining about them. When it's sunny, you know, everyone enjoys the sunny weather, but when it's gray and cold, icy rain, then you can easily complain. And Furqan said, seeking meaningful connection beyond observation. I try to make this effort for mindfulness from time to time. Some days the sky is clear with no clouds. Some days it has gray clouds. Some days it looks like the clouds are a painted canvas by the most brilliant painter. And similarly, when I'm experiencing a gray day, I can ask myself, isn't it possible for all these troubles to disappear, or even better, to transfer into the most beautiful, unexpected, colorful experience by the same brilliant painter?
That just made me go. I said, Furkan, can you teach me? Like, you know, could you be? I was like, okay, you're officially part of Lita'arafu now, and we need more contributions. May Allah give him barakah. But isn't that what Ubudiyya means? Isn't that? And you know what? When he said that, you know, do you remember when he said that? He said, this is what Islam is about. This is what being abd means to me.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to look at the skies out there and to see a meaningful connection to himself that is applicable. That. And I thought, I love looking at the clouds, and I love, but isn't that like, you know, look at my age, look at how many sessions we've done on Lita'arafu, and look at all the gifts of teachers we've been blessed with. I was like, I don't know how many times, or if I ever made that connection. And subhanallah, this is the contribution of a 16-year-old who wants to find mindfulness and connection from time to time. So, okay, that was his contribution. Now it's time for your contributions. My benefit, like, you know, I think what was the benefit to get out, you know, darkness, to see everything as an invitation that, let me just stop here, to see, once you see everything as an invitation for you to watch your love tank being filled, your trust tank being filled, that will definitely take you out from feeling lonely in the darkness and help you to bask in light. And with that, now we're gonna call on you, Naima. Before, last time, by the time we wanted to call on you, you needed to leave. So Naima, are you ready to share? How does being clear about who you are helps you? I don't know, what did I do? I'm not seeing everyone. Bismillah.
So Naima is, I'm actually out at an appointment, she says, so yeah.
Okay, so here we
If you want to
go.
see the hosts, we have Asma, Inaba, Gönül, Ijlal, Hitam, Naima,
Inaba, do you want to share?
Bahar, and Salwa.
Inaba has been like, you know, has been very, very crucial for us, because she's now going through a very specially designed training program where she sees life, birth, you know, and witnesses it. So Inaba, if you can share, please share with us.
Assalamualaikum. Yes, thank you. What is can you please restate
The question is, how can we be clear about who we are, and how does that help us? So the process of clarity, and why do we want to be clear? How does it help us? How does it help you that's why I'm asking you, Inaba, in an actual example way?
Okay, if somebody else wants to speak first, please let them do so. I'm going to wait until.
Take your time. Does anyone would like to speak about that? Like how have you practiced ubudiyya, which means how have you practiced being clear about you are done upon? And then how have you practiced using this clarity to connect with your creator? And the follow-up, like it's like almost a 3-part question. How did that help you? So if no
For
one
m-
has a
For
share,
me, it's
Salwa, go ahead.
for me, it's been a journey of self-acceptance.
So when you say self-acceptance, the question is self-acceptance of what? As a, like, how, what are you clear about yourself? So self-acceptance means that you have become clear about self. What is the clarity that you have gained about yourself? Because that's the first C. Remember, clarity about you and
Mhm.
then clarity about your creator. And then both of them come together into connectedness. So what is the clarity, Salwa, that you have gained about yourself?
I used to be very, very self-critical. And
And how?
the more that I um, spend time and delve deeper into knowing God and knowing who I am in relation to God has helped me
So can I make it easier for you?
see, yeah,
Yeah. So when, like, your journey is all about journeys, Salwa. So this is your first time to attend, but your words, everyone rings very clearly with all of us. But I wanted it to be clear to us and you, as I'm asking you. You said I used to be self-critical. And what does being self-critical mean about what do you think you are? Like, what was the self-critical stage of your life? This, this clarity, when you're self-critical, what does that tell you about who do you think you are?
I think it's just that I used to feel like there's something wrong with me, like there's a shortcoming, and it's
So there's an expectation. To make it easy, you have an
yeah.
expectation, okay? And what was the expectation of yourself? You had an expectation of?
I compared myself to other people a lot.
Okay, so
So I
expectation.
had the expectation, like, why am I not like this person? Why am not like this person? Why I'm not like this person? There's something wrong with me, like I'm not like that,
So that expectation in this situation means that you have seen everyone as the doers of what they're displaying. And
right.
the expectation from yourself is to do
right.
what you like seeing. So,
Yeah.
so there's two parts. There's a part where you did not see them as reflecting anything. They were the doers. And if they can do it, then I can do it.
Right.
So if I can't do it, then I'm not doing enough. Then there's something wrong with me.
Correct.
So can you see the two C's? There's the C about clarity with self, and there's the C about the creator. So I'm going to ask you, in that scenario,
Can you go back to that slide?
Yeah, say it again.
Please go back to the slide on the 3 C's so we can really think about it.
So again, so in that way, the clarity of who I am was that, who I am and who other people are. Other people are doers, so I'm a doer and I need to do. And the clarity about the creator, I didn't see the creator. Like, there was no creator in the picture. There are doers, and if they're doers, I'm a doer. And then how could you build confidence? Do you think that is
exactly? Yeah.
No, So my question is, do you have an example where, now that you have started seeing a creator and started seeing people reflecting what's given, and you yourself receiving and reflecting what's given, has it changed any situation? Is there a situation that you can share where that changed?
I have to think about specific example, but in general, I would say that I'm more loving towards myself, and I feel like I can enjoy life more, and that I'm more content. And
you said an important word. I'm gonna I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
Yeah, please go
But
ahead.
just to make it clear. So you said like 3 words, but one is I like very much is the word content, more content, and I forgot now the other.
Enjoy my
Yes,
enjoy life,
Yeah.
joy,
And
contentment,
there's one
and
word
loving
that,
my, and
yes,
just having, you know, loving for myself, and
yes.
like
So that's part.
accepting myself and accepting others for who they are also.
So the love of self, or the acceptance of self as, like, you know, that now, like, hopefully this is our journey, that self is a beautiful creation that is perfectly created as a receiver, and the enjoyment comes of sitting there, just like me sitting in Mariam's kitchen saying, I smell, oh, I see, you know. And so now the enjoyment comes from realizing how pampered, like I am pampered, I am receiving. And then at the end, I love that beautiful word used, content, because content is a word that's used a lot in the Quran. Rida, radiyallahu anhum wa radu an, that people, you know, those who are ibad, that God calls them ibad, they have this state of total rida. This confident, total trust ends up in rida, total rida. So thank you. Inaba, are you ready?
Yes, so I just want, I know that, so I can think of a few specific examples for what Selma just shared. And I know this is a general statement, so I apologize about that, but I noticed how in her story, which wasn't specific, but still very useful, is that when she stopped playing the role of the judge of herself, it went right along with stopping to play the role of the judge for other people. And
Right.
I have found that same truth in my life of the mirror, the external and the internal mirror, how they work so perfect. They are absolutely reflecting each other. And so often that has helped me both forgive other people and myself when I'm feeling judged, or when I'm feeling like somebody is basically looking down upon me. So, for example, at work, I work as a nurse on the labor and delivery unit, and as I've been orienting on night shift, or not, I'm done with orienting. As I started working on night shift now, I've had a few times where I've wanted to make sure that I'm doing something right, and I've gone to ask either the secretary or like a tech, is this the right thing to do, or is this where I'm supposed to put this instrument or something? And I noticed that they were starting to become like annoyed with my asking questions. And I started to feel all of a sudden very insecure about myself. And I started to question. So then when that feeling came up, which I call insecurity, I have practiced what I've been learning here, which is to feel the feeling, become clear of who I am in relationship to that feeling. So I am the receiver of that feeling, and connect it back to my Rabb by using it as a sign to get back to him. And I said, what is insecurity? And I said it, so I started to Iqra, read, and it felt like it was some sort of judgment that I had taken upon myself to make about myself, that you're insecure and that you're incompetent here. And then I wondered if, when I heard them actually gossiping behind my back that I didn't know something, how I should perceive that event. And I thought, I wonder if on the inside, since, you know, they're doing something to judge another person, I wonder if on inside of their hearts, they're also judging themselves. And I said, well, actually, the other day, I noticed I was judging one of my children very poorly. And I realized, oh, I take upon myself this like critical judgment role is on other people, and here I am also doing it upon myself to say that I'm incompetent and feeling insecure, and I see other people now doing it to me, and I'm wondering if they ever do that to themselves. And I realized, like, all of us were in this big mess of pretending to be who we are not, the judge, and walking away from that, i.e. doing istighfar, walking away in my heart and also with my feet of that entire situation, to say that I am not the judge of who I am, and my Lord is the one who is judging me. And also what I do get to choose is my perception of him. So I can choose to perceive him as like this very cruel or like merciless judge, but no, he's a merciful judge. So that means that whatever he is teaching me has some mercy in it. And one major thing that I learned from that, which was a form of self-acceptance, was that maybe that whole experience came to me so that I could learn or to embrace an opportunity to connect more to him. And so instead of using like somebody at work, sort of laughing about me, and to feel bad about myself, I felt more confident based on my own experience that I should actually feel sorry for them and pray for them, because they probably judge themselves more. And so that way I was able to release them. And then I said, my Lord did bring this to me. And what is the mercy and the love that must be in it? Because even if he's the judge, he's a merciful and loving judge. So what is it that he has brought for me in this? And I discovered this great, great gift, which seems really obvious, but I haven't been doing it for most of my life. And it's to ask Allah first for whatever I need. And then so I realized I can ask a lot less at work. I can ask the secretary a lot less and the tech a lot less. It is actually true that if I wait, pause, and just ask Allah, that I'm looking for the answer in this, and I'm afraid that, and I don't want to at all mistake who brings me the answers with your creation, even though if it ends up being your creation that brings it to me, I will know that they are your ambassadors. I please bring the answer to me. So more and more, like, I am receiving the answers to my questions about how I'm supposed to fix some technological problem, or how can I do something, some paperwork that needs to be done, without having to ask anybody, by simply being more patient and waiting for him to give me the knowledge that I need to do it. Sometimes it comes to my mind. Sometimes it becomes obvious on the technology itself. Sometimes somebody just walks by and happens to give me the answer. And sometimes there's a kind person who's actually very happy to be an ambassador and experience it, and is that person themselves is experiencing the joy of being helpful, i.e. experiencing his name, the helper, and is happy to help me with something. And so this has been an amazing experience where I have accepted myself as being like needy for help. I have taken out that whole mess, like beautiful sister Selma said, of like trying to play the role of the judge of both other people and myself. Said that is not who I am. Let's get clear, I am not the judge. And I am connected to my Rabb, who has many, many names. He is the judge, he is the helper, he is the loving, he is the merciful. And now I'm just like in this web of his names and experiencing his names and ever more becoming, by his grace alone, by his beauty and his love alone, more confident and more familiar, more intimately knowing his names, because I'm no longer seeing so many blocks to experiencing his name of the creation. The creation is now handing me, serving on a platter, his the manifestations of his names. And I don't mean that in a philosophical way. I mean, if I have ever experienced help, that was him. If I have ever experienced an answer, that was him. Like, it is that intimate. It is not theoretical. It is truly those moments that happen on the moment to moment daily basis of all of these gifts that he brings to us. So I guess that's one example that has become more clear to me, and it's definitely related to getting out of false roles, like being the judge, and also like being another false role is being dependent on the creation. That's not true. That's clearly false. And I'm realizing that I'm this like wonderfully taken care of, loved being that is receiving all of this, like everything that I need throughout the day, which includes everything from an answer to where I should click my mouse, to the profound need that I have for meaning and for love and for direction in my life.
I love how you, like, brought in your practical, experiential, like, event into Salwa's, like, story in a way that makes it easy for all of us to connect with. Like when you said, like, I took note of that, the word that you said that I just love, which is creation is serving me on a platter, his names. I love that. Creation is serving me on a platter, his names. Mariam, do you remember? I was like, I'm still working on praying for creation to serve me on a platter, his names. But this word was used by Mariam when I was sitting across, we're having breakfast. And as we were preparing for today, we're thinking of this experiential. And I was, looking at the different components of the breakfast. And Mariam can explain it better. Do you remember that? And Mariam just brought in she brought in the word platter. So Mariam, do you want to share what happened at breakfast?
Yeah, I remember raising the cheese plate, and I said every piece of cheese was chosen for you and brought here in front of you by the most loving creator. And so you can look at the cheese as a material, but it is served on a plate of love and mercy. So yeah, the unseen plate was love and mercy, and all the names. And then on it, you see the cheese. Your eyes see the cheese, but the cheese has, you know, all the meanings, all the names of the creator.
I loved it. So I was like trying to mentally like describe what I'm seeing as an experience. I was, you know, looking at a piece of cheese and I'm saying, yes, like this cheese, Mariam got it from Turkey, it traveled all the way, has a certain flavor. And I was like, and Mariam saying, Alia, you're using your brain. It's not about that. Just hold the plate and see it as a platter of love sent specifically to you by the creator. So when you said, Inaba, creation is serving me on a platter his names, it just connected with what Mariam said. If we can see everything as a platter, like from our creator serving us his love, his mercy, just coming to us, like don't focus on the, like see everything just as that venue. This is the physical venue, but what it has behind is that endless love that is given to you specifically here and now. So I love that sentence, Inaba.
Yes, and like, you know, I in the past have accused myself of being too philosophical.
No.
And I just don't, I'm not in the role of judging myself, but I have learned to embrace, but I have been afraid that I have lived my life too philosophically sometimes. And I am getting out of that now, though. Alhamdulillah, Allah is showing me the reality of this truth of what we're learning here. So I truly mean down to what you usually call the mundane life, down to the minutia of if you are looking to solve a computer problem and the answer comes to you, declare this as the helper. This is the helper manifesting. There is nothing mundane anymore. Once you're into this, once you're clear of who you are, nothing is mundane. You are in this, you are intimately woven into this tapestry of his names now. And every small thing that happens in your life can become this beautiful moment of dhikr, of fikr wa dhikr, remembrance, of contemplation and remembrance, and proclaim it. And don't jump over it and say, no, it didn't matter, that wasn't relevant, I'm looking for the big help, I'm looking for like this grand spiritual moment that I'm gonna like be flying through the heavens and it's going to like, that's gonna be my connection to God. No, you may feel that, but you will feel it in the most simple and the most intimate of ways in your everyday life. And so that's what has been really changing my life the most, is embracing every moment in this way.
And the question is that helping you with trust?
Okay, so yes. So what I said earlier, like, you know, I'm not somebody who, I said like, you know, maybe I have more room to grow on becoming familiar with trust.
We all have that in our need.
We all have it, right?
And in spite of what we're receiving or not receiving, even those who are receiving
right.
nonstop,
right?
Same issue.
And wouldn't that be the truth anyway? Wouldn't these wouldn't love and trust be eternal anyway? And so wouldn't we constantly, always, never ending be abd, needy of those names? And so that is always going to be growing and growing and growing. And I realize more and more that when Dr. Yamina says, I think this is what's coming to my heart from when she says this. When she says that when you experience something like need, or when you experience something like awe of the Creator. She says to stay there. And to try not to move on to the busyness of your day, to try to keep your heart as much as possible in that neediness of, and that feeling of receiving from God whatever manifestation of the name is coming to you, of his names is coming to you. I think I think what's coming to my heart is that she's trying to teach us quality over quantity. I think that she's trying to teach us that in any way that you can find trust, accept it, embrace it, and use that avenue of trust to use that path of trust to become more familiar with your Lord. Go for it. Stay there. And don't think that you need to okay, well, that's over now and I need to jump. I need to now get on with the rest of my day and try to find my what I'm looking for in my busy life. If you have experienced whatever connection it is to your Rabb, that is connected. It doesn't it wouldn't even be necessarily required that you find another connection because you're already connected. And every time that I become more familiar with trust, I'm realizing, oh, trust is all over the place. It's in my breath. It's in a true, like a healthy relationship that is, we love each other, knowing that the love is a gift from him. It's in it's in the relationship between a parent and a child that's healthy. There's so many places where we can experience trust, and any of those places are avenues to him. And so you can embrace that, knowing that you don't need to run off to something else, that it has come to you what you need. And the quality of your witnessing of that moment is like the fulfillment. You don't need to run off to something else.
Thank you, Neb. I love that. And Sarah, we have got you finally. I know our time change has changed, but we have shared the song that you have shared with us in the morning through your recording about being clear about who you are. And I think Sarah just jumped off. And oh no, here she is. Okay. So we shared that song and we were answering the question that you gave us yesterday about how does that help you. So you attended the last part of how does that help you. So now we return the question and the song back to you to share. And we got 20 minutes.
What Inaba shared. I myself am just getting back from a doctor's appointment with my small human, in which I was concerned to my heart, and I found myself feeling very about what and my partner and I were not in agreement as to what we should do. And so then I exactly what Inaba said. The first reminder is to get clear about who I am. I am not the one who's meant to know which avenue is best. I'm not the one who's taking care of this child who needs to choose the best route for him. I have no idea what is best. And I have to get clear of what I do know. What I do know is that there is someone who makes me, who makes this human being. He came from somewhere, and I came from somewhere. And whoever that one is the one whose promise is to take care of everyone in the best way, who is all-knowing. And it goes back to that slide you put up last week, Alia, about that relieves me from being the all-knowing one who has to have power and awareness of everyone, anesthesia, how anesthesia affects a 3-year-old body, I don't know, and I don't need to know, and I'm not the one in control of what's best. Then I get clear again about who I am. I have a need to know, and I have no idea. So here is creation being served to me on a golden platter to remind me in a perfect way that I am not the knowing one, but there is a knowing one taking care of everyone. So very practically, I can either let this anxiety consume me, another C word, consume me, or I can use the experience to consume the beautiful name of God that's being introduced to me through my vulnerability. If I'm courageous enough, another C, we've been on the C's lately. If I'm courageous enough to allow myself to feel the vulnerability in its totality, and like Inaba said, spend time with it and say, yes, I am feeling worried because I want him to have the best outcome. Yes, I am feeling nervous because things are out of control, or whatever the situation is in everybody's world. Yes to that vulnerability, and to the extent that I allow it to be fully disclosed and uncovered, and don't try to hide it with little leaves, like Dr. Yamina shared with Adam and Eve. To the extent that I just fully become acquainted and get very clear about my vulnerability, to that extent I can be clothed, cloaked, connected to the one, and then I can allow myself to get confident in that process by, going into that choosing, another C word. I have to choose if I'm going to allow this vulnerability, this situation to me, or if I am going to choose to consume the name of God that's being sent to me on a platter in the situation. And so if I remember on that walk that I am the one who's pampered, I am the one who's taken care of, I'm the one who's put in this place as a very vulnerable being, and this skeleton that's easily damaged. I mean, in every single moment, we can easily get, just killed, really. You can get killed in a car accident. So that I'm totally vulnerable, and my life is completely not in my control. Like, and any single moment you can go to the doctor and your whole world can change, Yani. We are so vulnerable. And at the same time, we have someone who's literally holding the skies up so it doesn't crumble on me, and making the earth so grounded such that it can hold me up and I can walk on it. There's someone who's holding the galaxies in place just for me, literally holding them and spinning them in absolute perfection, power, and control, just to take care of me and make sure that I have a safe place to walk, a safe place to breathe, a safe place to eat in the most beautiful way. So is it possible that this one who's holding the galaxies in perfection to serve me, is it possible that this one might let me out of his sight in this situation that I'm not worried about? And then when I ask myself the is it possible question, I say no, it's not possible. So then it gives me an opportunity to channel that vulnerability, that anxiety, that fear, that worry in sajda, in a safe space where I can return it back to its owner and connect to the one who's sending it to me. And then Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim becomes a more heartfelt prayer that we recite several times a day. I need your guidance to keep me on the straight path. I need it very desperately, without which, I can easily let this anxiety or this fear consume me. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah for the beautiful reminder. I was literally like, hospital, anesthesia, no, 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 I don't like any of this. And then I stepped in the car, opened the Zoom, and I remembered, I looked at the screen, it says Ab, to get clear and get connected. I'm like, well, if that's not the perfect tonic recipe to drink right now in this situation, you're absolutely right. And this is the plans every millisecond of my life, who's unfolding it 1 millisecond at a time, is the one who's speaking and creating at the same time. So may we take the role of, like Inaba says, reading or receiving. And this is another word. When Inaba said, and Aliyat repeated, serving me on a platter the beautiful names. When the word platter is mentioned, you automatically become the honored, like the guest in the room. And if it's served on a platter, why would you not taste it? If you just remember, that's why get clear of who you are. Remember, you are the honored one here. In this situation that looks like calamity and chaos, all the C words are just cracking me up today. It looks like calamity and chaos, but actually it's communication meant for you to receive, read. How do you read? By remembering your own vulnerability. Yes, you're made like that. And when you feel the unknown, it's purposeful. It's purposeful so that you can come back to Ihdina. I am in need of that guidance to make the decisions for me. I don't have to know which way the earth needs to turn every second so that the world can keep on. I don't need to know anything. I am just the receiver. Alhamdulillah. The obvious C word created, Inaba, absolutely. Alhamdulillah for being created. So I don't have to be up in any circumstance. I just have to remember that it's totally the most honorable and sacred thing I can do is allow myself to feel the feelings without judgment and with love and notice them and say, yes, there is a new uncertainty and there is a certain one here with me. If I don't plug in the vulnerability to the source, if I don't plug it in, then I am left in my anxiety consuming me. But if I just take it, plug it in, then alhamdulillah, then I'm safe again. Jazakumullah khair.
Jazakallah kulla khair. What a beautiful way to end, mashallah, this halaqa. And we need someone to end it with a beautiful, who would like to make a dua for us so that we can end on this beautiful note. Whoever, you can read al-Asr or you can make dua. Who would like to do that? Sahara, go for it. Bismillah. Gonna make dua for us, Sahara? Okay, Sahara, change her mind.
I can make if you wish.
Yes, go ahead. I love hearing your voice. We miss you. Go for it.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Your voice is very clear, mashallah. And your beautiful face is clear, mashallah.
But I cannot see myself. Interesting. Okay.
We see you and you're beautiful.
Thank you. Jazakallah khair. Okay, nice talk. Thanks to all. So we're saying the Surah Al-Asr, I guess. Yeah. Right? You said. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal Asr. Innal insana lafi husr. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Ameen. A beautiful dua. Beautiful.
Ameen. Ameen. May Allah, as the time passes, as the reminder, those of us are like, it reminds us that there are opportunities that are coming our way. And if we don't take them, we are losing them. Khusr. But those who are taking the opportunities are the ones who find safety in what's happening. Like in whatever is troubling us, can we find safety? That was Sarah's challenge to me yesterday. How does that help you? If I'm looking for safety, how does that help you? Find safety and rectify their intentions, their actions, their perceptions. آمنوا عملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق. And then encourage each other to hold on to the truth of who they are as abd, what is this absolute infinite being as Rabb? What does it mean to have this absolute infinite being as Rabb, as my source of safety? وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ, which is the last part of it, which is the last part of the C's. Until I become confident as Abd that totally trust the Rabb through repetition, sabr, repetition, doing it again, holding it again and again. Through Furqan's example, keep at it again and again and again. And with that, we say Jazakallah khair to everyone, and we end our recording. And I will start traveling, so I'll have to say Salamu alaikum